Hey, Shalom Akim. First, foremost, and give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Rachak with us. Double honors on the elders, apostles of Great Millstone, the elders of Great Millstone, and of course, peace and blessings under the hopeful elect. That's sincere servants of Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, serve him in truth and sincerity. Yes, I'm the brother Chayaba from GMS Plain Tables Camp, coming back with another Let's Do Spirit. This lesson will be based off of I was going into Daniel chapter 12 and 1, as well as touching on Jeremiah chapter 23, pretty much getting to the spirit of how, these times coming up very soon are going to be worse than ever before. Currently we're in times that obviously hasn't been experienced, it hasn't been experienced throughout time. But hey, what's coming very soon? Because of course, back then in the ancient times, there are times of trouble and times of peril. Well, hey, what's about to come very soon? The scriptures go into the many troubles and tribulations that will happen in these end times that we're in currently. And guess what? These trials and tribulations that come are going to be a lot worse than what has happened before, in the ancient times or whatever time period. So to give real quick, this Daniel chapter 12 and 1, it says, "And at that time should Michael stand up, the great prince was standing for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that should be found written in the book." So the pause real quick, it says, "And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble." So there's going to be a time of trouble, such as was since there was a nation even to that same time, meaning that it's going to get so bad out here that even Michael is going to have to stand up, Michael the archangel. And ultimately, Yahushua is going to have to come back to rescue, of course, the elect. Because as the scriptures say, to get real quick, opening another tab. So this is Matthew chapter 24 and 22. It says, "And except those days shall be shorn, there shall no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened." Yeah, so unless these days aren't shorn, which Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai is the one who's shorn these days, what says, there shall no flesh be saved, because again, it's going to get real bad out here. Of course, the devil, Esau Edom, he's ruling and he's in power. So, and obviously, but the worst war is about to happen, and it's right around the corner, which is World War III. Which obviously, this isn't going to be a war fought with swords or shields. It's not going to be a war just fought with guns and tanks and that's it. No, this war is going to be fought with nuclear missiles, as well as, of course, guns. But what the main weapon, the main weapon that's going to be in use, that's going to cause the most destruction, is going to be those nuclear missiles. So unless these days aren't shorn, and of course, there's a lot of other things that are happening too that the scriptures go into about what well, let's go ahead and get it. Second Esdras. So get real quick. Second Esdras, chapter 16 and 17, it says, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evils shall come? Exactly, so because Ezra is being given a vision, and he was literally seeing the times that we're living in right now. He had a vision, a prophetic vision about literally these times that we're in currently. And even, Ezra, see, he was in that spirit like, dang, who's going to deliver me in those days? Because that's how bad it's going to get. I mean, and also showing that what reincarnation is biblical. But yeah, that's the point. And let's get real quick. And yeah, this Matthew chapter 24 is, of course, a good chapter. It says, going to verse 3, says, and as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? And Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am a Mashiach, and shall deceive many. Yeah, because the disciples asked Yahushua, what's going to be the sign? What's going to be the times, or how's it going to look like when, when it's the end times? Meaning when Yahushua is going to make his return, finally. And yeah, the end of the world. It says, so this Matthew chapter 24 and 6, it says, and as ye shall hear, or Salak, it says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Yeah, because, again, you're going to have, for example, you have Russia and Ukraine, and you had the recent Iran and Israel, a conflict that happened. Well, hey, there's still things that need to happen, including the MOTB. Just because those countries are having conflict doesn't mean that World War III is going to start immediately. Nah, we're still waiting on the MOTB to be fulfilled, or the mandating of the MOTB, the mark of the beast, which is the chip. That's what they want to cause to put into everybody's body. But until then, until that's mandated, then World War III won't come. But as we know, of course, all this is literally right around the corner. Just because, but the MOTB is, as Elder Apostle Dahar said, is months away, and you can literally see a man with your eyes. You don't, just looking at the news, and it's clear that this thing is months away. You have AI and all these, just cash being slowly. I mean, really, is being thrown out the window. Because obviously, eventually, or very soon, they want to outlaw cash. Electronic payments are, they're the main source of payment now. It says, verse 7, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. Yeah, and that's happening currently, but it's only going to get worse. Famines, even though it's technically, there is a famine, but it's just not as bad. Or, we haven't hit the climax yet. But, the climax is very soon, as well as the pestilences. Another word for pestilence is disease. And, obviously, we had that big pestilence, that big disease that just passed, which, was starting 2020, and in 2019, that's when it first started. And earthquakes, and many earthquakes happening. You already had earthquakes in Japan. You had that huge earthquake in Turkey that last year that killed thousands of people. And yeah, you're even having many earthquakes that are happening this year. So it says, verse 8, all these are the beginning of sorrows. Yeah, and this is just the beginning, and it's only going to get worse. It says, then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and you shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. Yeah, because of course they're gonna try to deliver up the prophets. They will get some, but ultimately it's gonna be in the plans of the elite to gather the prophets. the men in great millstone and the like-minded brothers with the same doctrine. I mean that's gonna be the main ones on their list. But hey, Esau's gonna try to come after all Hebrew Israelites, no matter if you're a part of other camp. Don't think that you're gonna be exempt, because nah, man. Hey, Esau's gonna try to get everybody. Yeah. So going back to So hey, what's in store is about to be again. It's gonna be like things that we are never witnessed. Getting Jeremiah chapter 23. We can start at let's go to verse 3. And of course, we know what ultimately Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is going to make a deliverance for his elect, even though what the times are going to get rough. And it's going to be like a time never witnessed before. What trials and tribulations. Guess what? Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is also going to make the greatest deliverance that has never been seen. It says, so Jeremiah chapter 23 and 3, and I will gather the remnant out of my flock, out of all the countries whither I have driven them, and will bring them again to their folds, and they shall be fruitful and increase. And I will set up shepherds over them, who shall feed them, and shall know, it says, and they shall fear no more, nor be dismayed, neither shall they be lacking, saith the Lord Yahweh. Yeah, and keep in mind, verse 3, it says how the Lord's going to deliver the remnant out of all the countries, whether I've driven them. Because, of course, going back to Deuteronomy chapter 28 and 64, that was one of the curses that the Lord put upon us, which was to scatter us amongst all nations. So you're going to have Israelites. Not only are you going to have Israelites in America, because obviously, the bulk of the slavery happened of course, you got the transatlantic slave trade, but, obviously you had many Israelites. And, of course, the American captivity is the most known. Not only do you have most, or, Israelites within America, but through slavery, because you got brought here, and, of course, you already had the Northern Kingdom, so-called Native Americans, Latinos, who were taken down and conquered by the conquistadors. Not only do you have so-called Negroes, Native Americans, Latinos in the land of America, you also have Israelites who have been scattered amongst the other nations in Asia, Europe, Africa. Obviously we got taken from West Africa. And of course, we are in West Africa, having to flee from in 70 AD, we had to flee to West Africa, but that's staying on point. What says verse 5? Behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, thou rise, or says thou will raise unto David a righteous branch, and a king shall reign and prosper, and shall execute judgment and justice in the earth. Yeah, and that's going to be Yahushai. Yahushai is our righteous branch, and what the King of Kings, Lords of Lords. And ultimately what Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, or Heavenly Father Yahweh, is going to set his son. It's already been done. All power has been given unto Yahushai. But what? Yahushua is going to put forth his kingdom upon the planet Earth very soon. Well, once he delivers the elect of the nation of Israel. Well, he's going to set up his kingdom with the 144,000 being the governing body, of course, under the order of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So it says, verse 6, in his days Judah shall be saved, and Israel shall dwell safely. This is his name whereby he shall be called the Lord Yahweh our righteousness. Yeah, so Judah and Israel, so the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom will be saved and dwell safely. So it says, verse 7, therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that they shall no more say, the Lord Yahweh liveth, which brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. But, yeah, it says, verse 8, but Yahweh liveth, which brought up and which led the seed of the house of Israel out of the north country, and from all the countries whither I've driven them, and they shall dwell in their own land. Yeah, because of course the Lord's very known for what he's done in Egypt. Of course, the many plagues, and as well as the great deliverance that the Lord made for the Israelites, that they get them out of the land of Egypt, such as the parting of the sea and many other things, as well as you had the cloud that came down, which of course was Yahweh Shai. Or, that was Yahweh Shai in the chariot, right? Hey, but the point is that the Lord made great deliverance, and, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is known for that. But guess what? It says, verse 8, or going back to verse 7, Yahweh liveth, which brought up, or we can just start over. It says, therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that they shall no more say, the Lord Yahweh liveth, which brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt, but Yahweh liveth, which brought up and which led the seed of the house of Israel out of the north country, and from all the countries whither I have driven them, and they shall dwell in their own land. So the Lord's going to be known. Keep in mind, it says north country. What's that north country? That's Babylon the Great, which is America. That's that north country. Of course, America is located within the United States. It's located within the northern hemisphere. Obviously, it's on the west, right? And Babylon Great, America, the United States, is that north country. So the Lord's going to get the house of Israel out of that north country. It says, and from all countries whither I've driven them. But now, so not only America, it's also going to be the other nations, wherever the Lord has scattered the elect Israelites, the Lord's going to get the elect from those countries. Of course, the main deliverance is going to happen from out of Babylon the Great, because of course the scriptures prophesy the destruction of Babylon, of America. The scriptures prophesy during World War III how it's going to be destroyed by nuclear fire, as well as the Lord will be aiding in the destruction of America. But obviously the Lord's going to use these other nations during World War III to shoot their nuclear arsenal upon Babylon the Great. It says, and also Lord's going to make a deliverance for the rest of the Israelites that are scattered amongst these other nations, pursuant to Revelation chapter 7 and 9, that innumerable multitude. So it says, verse 8, continuing on, and from all the country whither I have driven them, and they shall dwell in their own land. So the Lord's going to be not only so pretty much what this means is that Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is going to be known. So this deliverance is going to be even greater than the deliverance that happened in Egypt, showing you how great the deliverance is going to be, man. So not only are these times going to be the most, the worst again, these times are going to be times that has never been experienced. But at the same time, the deliverance and, the miracles that Lord's going to make for the elect is going to be greater than whatever whatever has been witnessed. So I believe that's the point. The point is that, the point is there. So Lord's will you blessed that edified. Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, Pashman Kakurash Brakat Thumb. Shalom.